Okay.
Mummy.
Okay, so we were discussing about the investment finance. Okay, so whenever any company is going to start any project, so it means that they should make sure that the finance availability, the investment availability for the company for this product should be higher.
Hmm.
Okay, because they have to most maybe you know this thing that or not, that every business needs 2 years of survival at the start of the business. Business
Hmm.
should not think of any profit at the from the very first 2 years of the business operations. And
Hmm.
their projects is basically consist on 10 years, 15 years, or maybe more than this 20 years. So it means
Hmm.
that if they are going to start any project, so they should make sure that the finance or the investment should be a lot, and they have a lot of finance from the shareholders. There they have a lot of shares in their project, so they can make sure that the finance will not run out during any project,
Yes, ma'am.
because project should be go on for maybe 10 years or maybe 15 years or maybe more than this. So that is why the availability of finance is also very important whenever they are asking you about the any strategy. So it means that every growth option or every project, if you are working on any strategy, so it means that you have these three things: time, finance, and resources. Do you have do you have a specific time to focus on these projects or not? This is also so important.
Yeah, ma'am, we have.
And the resources, what are resources
Yeah,
basically?
needed. Resource needed is what are the number of employees needed, the type of the number of employees needed we have to see. For
Yes,
example, the number of raw materials needed to manufacture the products.
a lot of things, for example, land and buildings and workers and raw materials. Like there are a lot of things we can say that these are all are resources of our business. So these three things should be there. Okay, whenever we are talking about the investments, so we should make sure that also one thing you can add on this, that your shareholders objective, because there are a lot of shareholders and they just want to invest a business for a very short time. Maybe the objective of your shareholder is that they just want to take out their shares after 2 years, when they think that they achieved a maximum amount of profit. So maybe after 2 years, your shareholders supposed to do it. It's their objective that after, if one shareholder is investing in ABC company, okay, and this shareholder thinks that okay, maybe after 2 years or maybe after 3 years, I will take out my shares from this company, and after that, I will invest that shares into another company. So this is the objective of this specific shareholder. But your objective is for growth, for expansion. You are expanding your business by doing many projects. So if the objective of shareholder is not same as yours, there are conflicts between the company's objective and the shareholder objective. So it means that this dash strategy would not be successful in the future. So this is also important, that the objective of the shareholders and the objective of your companies should be met on some point. They should be aligned.
Hmm.
So this is one more thing you can write in your evaluation. If it is about any expansion plan, any growth, any strategy. So this is how you can do your evaluation. Okay, so this is the way that how you can write the evaluation point. Okay, so one more thing we can do is, do you have any question from these points?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so one more thing you can do is, this is also same as your significant point, but this is a statement from where you can start your evaluation. The statement is basically that if you are writing any advantage of any point, for example, JIT or marketing strategy or anything else, so how you can evaluate the statement for evaluation, which I am showing to you, is this is same as the significance point.
Yes, ma'am.
This may be considered to be the strongest advantage because dash. After that, you have to write the point why this advantage is the strongest advantage of this point. So you have, this is very similar to the significant point. This point basically. This point. This point. This is similar to this point. Because in this point you are also writing that why this point is significance, why this advantage is significance for this business. And in this statement, you are also writing the same thing, that why this advantage is the strongest advantage for this ABC company or XYZ company. Okay. And if you are writing the disadvantage point, for example, if you're writing the negative point, negative point. So how you can evaluate the same format you will use to evaluate this also. But one more thing you can do is, for the negative point, which is statement you can use, that for example, we are writing the negative point of JIT. Okay. Any point of JIT. For example, we can say that JIT is not useful because, whenever, for example, if we are going to purchase a shoe from any brand, for example, from any shop, and when we reach to that shop and maybe we said that, okay, we just like this shoes, so do you have this shoes in any other size? For example, they have that specific shoe in 8 size, but you want that shoe in 9 number, or maybe 10 number, or maybe more than this 12 number, but they said, "No, sorry, we don't have this specific size of this shoes, so you have to wait, we will contact to our supplier, and maybe after 2 days or maybe after 3 days they will supply the same size of the shoe, so you can contact us, you can come to our shop, and we will try to deliver the same size to you." So what will be the image of that company in your eyes?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you do you want to purchase any, your second purchase from this shop? No. Whenever whenever you maybe have planned to go out for the shopping, so you say that okay, I don't want to go for to this shop because they always run out of inventory, they always run out of my favorite shoes in specific size, so I don't want to purchase, I don't want to purchase anything from this shop.
Yes.
Rather than wasting my time to go to this shop, I just would, because I have a lot of shops, I have a lot of choice in market, so I can go to the other shop and I can purchase that shoe or that that specific size of shoe, I can purchase that shoes in from and any other shop. So it means that if you are using GIT, somehow this is also a drawback for GIT, that you may will lose your customers. You may be creating a negative image of your company in front of in the eyes of your customer. Maybe they think that you don't have their favorite shoes, you don't have their specific demands, you cannot meet their demands, you cannot stimulate their demands, so that is why you may will have lose your customers. So this is also a drawback of GIT. So you can write this a chain of analysis and try to link that chain of analysis with your business objective. So whenever you may lose your customer, so what will happen? Of course, your sales will decrease. If your sales will decrease, so it means that your revenue will decrease, and if your revenue will decrease, so it means that you cannot maximize your profit. Okay, so this is the thing you can use. And after that, whenever you are evaluating this, for example, we are going to evaluate this point, so what we can write: the disadvantage of JIT depends upon. So can you think some other factors that will influence this point? For example, we can say if the customer is loyal, or if the customer is you can say that or it also depends the quality of your product. Because if you are providing a high quality product, so it means that customer can wait for you. Do you think that it is reality? Because whenever we are loyal with any brand, okay, whenever we maybe we are getting a high quality product from that shop, so it means that we can wait for them. Is it real situation or not?
Ma'am, so here the disadvantage of, then for evaluation, we have to write the disadvantage of JIT, right? So if a customer is loyal, he would always tend to, so he will be, so customer loyalty is generally for the quality of your products, right?
Yes, of course. If your quality,
Yes.
if the product quality is good, it means that there will be no disadvantage of, like, the disadvantage basically depends on what? If your quality is not right, so it means that you will have to face the losing out your customer. But if your quality is good, the product which you are serving to your customer, it is very good, so it means, like, for example, there are a lot of restaurants which is so famous in India, and their taste is so
Like,
good.
yeah, there will be like Santosh Dhaba, you can say, which are
So
famous in India.
whenever you are, for example, whenever you are going out for your favorite restaurant and you are liking that restaurant because their food is so good, like the taste of that food is so good, and you cannot find that taste in your whole city. And whenever you are going out for that restaurant, and if you will have to, wait a lot of time to deliver your food on your table. So,
Mm.
will you just go out? Will you just become angry, and you said that I don't want to eat from this restaurant. I am going to out for the next restaurant. No, because you are liking the taste of that food. So that is why it means that you are willing to wait for maybe next 15 minutes or maybe more than this, because you are liking the taste of their restaurants.
Yes, ma'am.
So of course we know that all the restaurants are working on the JIT for specifically the fast food chains, because whenever we are the fast food chains are basically working on the JIT, because whenever you go for any, for maybe eating the pizza, so they will make the pizza on your demand. So this is the JIT.
Yeah, so I think that works. I think GIT can be used in job production, right, ma'am?
Yes, job production and batch production also.
Yeah.
Not the like flow production, because flow production we know that they are using different machines, and because these are basically specialized products. And for the specialized products and high quality products, we tend to wait for such a long time, because we know that the product which we are getting from that company is basically high in the quality. We cannot get that specific quality from any other shop. So that is why we will wait for our food, for our maybe something else, for maybe our designer clothes.
Mm.
If a designer is working in his boutique, so he is also basically working on the JIT, because they will design the clothes whenever they will have demand from the customer.
Mm.
So if the customer is willing to wait, why they are willing to wait? Because they like the designs, they like the quality, they like the prices, or something else. Maybe
Mm.
they he or she is brand loyal. So that's the reason. So we can always try to discuss that point which will influence our advantage or disadvantage somewhere. This is also a kind of evaluation. And this is the most popular statement of evaluation. Examiner would also love to hear from you the other factors which will influence your negative or positive points.
Mm.
Because whenever you are writing the significance, for example, if we are going with this point, most of the students, whenever a teacher try to make their student understand that significant point and writing the advantage are two different things. Student always do this thing in the in the evaluation, that if they choose this statement to writing their evaluation, so what will they do? They always write the advantage. For example, you have already written the advantage of JIT, so why you are again writing the advantage in your evaluation point? So there is no point of evaluation. If you are writing the significance, so it means that you are writing the problems, you are taking out the problems from the case. Okay, and you are writing, you are putting down the those problems on your paper, and you are saying that a JIT would be useful for this business, because business is basically facing this and this problem. So that is why JIT is very significant. This is very beneficial, this is more beneficial for this company, because company is facing this and this issues. So this is your significant point. But students also, students, I don't know, they always tend to use the advantages point in the evaluation. They think that significance is basically the advantage. If you're writing the advantage in your first paragraph, so why are you writing the advantage point in your evaluation? Writing the significant point in the evaluation and writing the advantage point in your first paragraph is the two different things. Significance is a different thing. Advantage is that, okay, if we are using JIT, so we can reduce our cost somewhere, blah 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 blah. So if we are writing the significant point, so it basically we are highlighting the problems of the business they may have to face if they will not work on JIT. So we can say that if they are not working on JIT, so may they will have to face this and this problem in the future. So that is why if they will have to face those problems in the future, so it means that if they at this point if they are working on a JIT, so it means the disadvantage they will have to face in the future will reduce today. This is your significant point.
Yes.
So advantages and significant point is two different things. Just remember this thing. If you are writing this statement in your evaluation.
Yes.
Okay. So I think the time is up already. So now you, I think, understand that how to write the 8 mark, 12 mark, evaluation, analysis. I think your mind is clear now.
Yes. So I think G after write about JIT instead of so an evaluation I can write not just JIT but using JIT is always not going to help the business
Yes,
because
you
it
can write
might
it
be taking a
also.
lot of time
Yes.
for the business to get the products,
Yes.
and during this time the business will lose the opportunity of delivering its customers quickly where other business will grab the opportunity, and instead of JIT the business can be using Kaizen method of production where it can
Yes.
take better consulting from its workers, and it might be a small idea for the in the present situation, but later on it might be leading towards larger changes, larger and positive changes for the business, or else business can use the method of quality circles.
Yes, you can write it also.
Like, ma'am, there are a lot of methods in the lean production, right? The JIT, Kaizen,
Yes, there are a
quality
lot of.
circles, simultaneous engineering.
Yeah, there is basically one more the software. I think this is the name of the software, EPR or ERP. This is also a JIT.
ERP software.
Lean
Enterprise
production.
resource planning is also something. So instead of
Because
depending upon JIT,
lean production is not something wasting out the materials. It is basically wasting out of your time also. If you are wasting the intelligence, if you are wasting the experience of your employees, so this is also if you are using the quality circles, so this is also lean production approach of lean production.
so
Because
I think quality circle can be linked with theory Y
yes, of course, theory
and soft approach of HR management.
yes, of course, quality
Like
circles
that
is
we can link.
basically. Yes, quality circles is basically you can link this thing with the McGregor theory X and theory Y.
No, ma'am. Actually, you have to know not theory X, that Douglas McGregor.
No, McGregor theory. This is a McGregor theory.
Excellent theory. You mean to say needs based on authoritative needs, achievement based needs, affiliation based needs. So affiliation based needs can be bought here.
Yes, of course, we can write it also here. But if you think that this is important for the business, if you don't
Hmm.
find any kind of problems, like if you think that okay, their employees maybe facing any demotivation from the management, so you can write it also. But if you will
Hmm.
not find anything, any link from the case, so it is better that you should not specify these things in your question.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so in we just discuss our question one and the question number two and question number three. Tell me
Hmm.
that how many question you can do as your homework.
Can I do these two questions?
Two and three.
Which you said? Yeah. So break even, I have to write the break even number per customer, monthly profit at maximum capacity. So
Yes, you
total
can
revenue minus
break
total
even.
cost, margin of safety.
Break even. Yes,
Discuss the change in based.
you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
yes, the formula you can use for the break even fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. And how can you find the contribution per margin per unit? You have to deduct the variable cost per unit from the selling price.
Hmm.
So from this method you will find a contribution margin, and after that you will divide a fixed cost over contribution margin per unit, so you will have your break even number of customers per month.
Hmm.
And if we are going to solve the second part of it, monthly profit at maximum capacity, so how can we find? We will multiply because this is the, I think, we have maximum customer for this. Yes. Here you can see that maximum customers. Okay, so they are saying that calculate the for location Y. So it means that we will use the information from this location Y, not location X.
Hmm.
So maximum customer for location Y is
Ma'am, let us see the maximum
5,000.
profit. Ma'am.
This is the maximum capacity of monthly capacity for customers, 5,000. We have to multiply it by the price we are charging on the, and this is estimated average price per customer per night. So we have to multiply this by this 5,000 into 70. And after that we have to multiply
Subtract it from
variable
cost, right?
cost,
After the capital cost.
variable cost and fixed cost,
Hmm.
and we will get the profit, monthly
Ma'am,
profit
the
for.
variable cost you have to variable cost per customer per night.
Yes,
The total customer capacity is
vari
5,000. 5,000 into 40.
variable cost is basically 40. As you can see that the variable cost is 40 and the fixed cost is, this is your fixed cost,
Hmm.
monthly fixed cost.
Hmm.
Do you know the formula how to find the monthly profit? If you don't know that, I can write it also here.
Total revenue minus total cost.
Yes,
Ma'am, is
total
it total
total
revenue minus
revenue,
total cost?
total revenue would be 5,000 into 70, and after that you have to minus the uh
Total cost,
net
it should be 500,000 plus
variable
69,000 plus
variable
5,000
cost.
into 40.
Variable cost is 5,000 multiply 40, and
Hmm.
the revenue would be 5,000 multiply 70, and you will deduct this from this and also the fixed cost.
Hmm.
So you will have the profit, maximum monthly profit at the maximum capacity.
Hmm.
And the second thing is the margin of safety. What is margin of safety? This is basically the expected output minus the break-even output.
Yeah, ma'am. Expected output. First, for that, we have to calculate break even.
Yes, for this you have to do some calculations, and I think this you can do. Do you know that how to find a margin of safety?
Not break even, right?
Margin of safety. We have to find the expected output and break-even output. Break-even output we can break-even output. How can we find it? Fixed cost divided by the contribution margin per unit.
Total sales revenue minus cost of making product, right?
I am writing here. So fixed cost was 69,000 divided by, and contribution margin per unit was I think $30. So we have 2,300 customers.
Hmm.
Basically, where this 30 came from, we have to find the contribution margin per unit, selling price minus variable cost, and selling price was 70, I think, and the variable cost was 40. So that is why I have 30 as contribution margin per unit.
Hmm.
So this is your break-even output, 2,300 customers, because this is service business. 2,300 customers is your break-even output. Because it's a service business, customer is our output for us. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a service business and customer is basically output for us. This is not a manufacturing business. Customer is basically an output for us. And our expected output is your expected monthly demand is 4,500 customers. So it means to find a margin of safety, we have to deduct the 2,300 from the 4,500. Because this is our expected customer. We expect that this number of customers will visit our restaurant. And this is our break-even point.
Ma'am, so for marginal, I can say actual sales minus break even by actual sales.
Yes, 25 margin of safety.
So 4,500 minus 2,300 by 4,500.
Yes, so we have 2,200 customers as our margin of safety. So I just solved this question here. And I think you can solve this one and this one. Break-even number. I just solved the break-even point here again. Break-even is 2,300 and your fixed cost was 60. This is basically, I just solved the your part one here, because margin of safety need to, if you want to find a margin of safety, so it means that you have information of this question. So I just solved this question here. So it means that now you need to solve this part too. Okay. So part one and part B and question number 3 is your homework.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any question from the margin of safety?
Fixed cost by contribution per unit is maximum capacity, right? So contribution per unit. So I think if you ask total break even, it can't be applied, right? You can write total fixed cost by total contribution per unit.
Yes, if you want to find the break even, so this is a formula: fixed cost divided by the contribution margin per unit. And how you can find the contribution margin per unit? You have to deduct the variable costs per unit from the selling price per unit. So you will have the contribution margin per unit. And after that, you will divide a fixed cost upon the contribution margin per unit. So you will have the break even. Okay. So do you have any question from this also? Like, do you have anything to ask about any point, for example, evaluation?
Nothing much.
Okay.
By the way, I think I have the question from my first question. So
From
as you
this
said, you mean to
question,
say like writing more too much positive points might cause like what would happen now?
for this question number 1, yes, 2 points, like one advantage and one disadvantage. You don't need to evaluate in 8-mark question. This is basically 8 mark.
It's like time waste. Like it maybe does too much positive points or get you like 3 mark or like that.
No, because the you know that for 8-mark question, your knowledge point is basically will carry 2 marks.
Yeah, how much my analysis carries?
So if you are writing 2 points, so it means that you will gain the 2 marks, one advantage and one disadvantage, and after that 2 marks for application. And 4 marks for analysis.
So like, is there any application that I've made?
Yes, you have made the application. Like there are a lot of applications you
much?
have used. Not how much,
much have
there should not, like not there is basically you can use one application in one part, like in one point, But if you want to use your application more than once, so you can do. There will no negative marking for it. Because whenever you are analyzing, just try to application is something you should write your analysis point. You should apply your business context in your whole analysis.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you are like, for example, you're saying that globalization is important for HH, for this, HH can do this, HH can increase the sales, HH maybe have to face a competition, HH have to reduce their prices. So this is all point of application, and you are also analyzing. So application is not something that if you write it once, so you cannot write it again. You are writing your application while writing your analysis, because you are continuously writing your analysis in your business context. So it means that this is your application also.
Yes.
Application is not something which which you have to write separate from the analysis.
Like last year, it used to work for me like that.
Can you please speak slowly, or like, because you speak so fast, so that is why I cannot some.
Ma'am,
Yes.
like for last year, what is today's after first I used to include knowledge first for any 8 marker or 12 marker, and then I used to write the application main, what is important. Then I used to analyze, and if necessary, I used to evaluate in conclusion. But here I think that doesn't work in A levels at least, right?
No, both like 3 points is basically very important for A levels. Who told you that this is not this is not important for A?
Because in A levels, what you have to do is you have to include knowledge. Analysis application should be included in the same paragraph,
Yes, of course. If you are
unlike
writing the
AS level.
if you are writing the evaluation, okay, if you're writing the evaluation, you can see that you are also using the application analysis here also in your evaluation point. Can't you see, for example, if you are saying that when we are discussing about the JIT, so what we are doing is basically in evaluation, we are totally talking about the business problems and business things, like if business can do this thing, so it can happen this thing, it will lead to this thing, it will lead to this thing. So basically this is all about the application analysis. Evaluation is not something else which is separate from the analysis and application. In evaluation, we also are writing the application, because we are talking in the business context. We are using the information from the business, and we are trying to analyze those information. So it means that, of course, this is also our application. Evaluation is also consist on knowledge, application, analysis. Yes, but how to write the evaluation, what points you should add into the evaluation, which type of statements you can use while evaluation, I have already told you that how to write. But whenever you are writing the evaluation, you are also using the analysis and application points. Analysis is basically, if this thing happens, so after that what will happen. For example, if globalization is happen, then what will happen next? This is your analysis now.
Yes,
If globalization is there, so what will happen next? So this is your analysis, and in evaluation you are also doing this. If this happens, so after that what will happen? You are connecting the chains.
yes, ma'am.
So this is also in evaluation you are also writing the analysis. Now when we are talking about this thing, when we were evaluating our one point, for example, when we are discussing about this evaluation point, that this advantage will depend upon this loyalty, brand loyalty. For example, we are talking about a brand loyalty. So this is not a knowledge. This is also knowledge, because brand loyalty has a definition. When we are using any point, so this is basically your definition. Brand loyalty consists on the definition. So this is also your knowledge. And whenever, okay, if you say